Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. And today's video comes out of Baltimore, Maryland, where an anchor woman said something really inappropriate on air. But before we get into the article, if you enjoy the article reactions on this channel, if you enjoy the commentary on this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. So let's get into the article. Now, before I actually read the article, I'm going to actually play you the clip of what she said.
Show today. The question I have for you, we have had 3 female African-American mayors in a row. They were all passionate public servants. 2 resigned, though. Is it a signal that a different kind of leadership is needed to move Baltimore City forward? Show today. The question I have for...
Okay, so that is the question that has everybody up in arms. And you can tell by her expression that she was really serious about how she felt, okay? But she put the way she felt into a form of a question. So let's read the article. Baltimore anchor woman asked after racially incendiary question asked about black women mayors. And do I think her question was racial? Yes, I do. Because her question referred to race, and not only race, it referred to gender of a specific race. All right, an anchor woman for Baltimore's WJZ-TV has been fired after asking if a different kind of leadership is needed after 3 black women, including 2 that resigned, served as the city's mayor, the Baltimore Sun is reporting. The controversy comes as fallout continues in the wake of former Mayor Catherine Pugh's resignation. So if you've been following what's going on with Baltimore mayors, you know all the mess going on with the mayor that Baltimore has that just resigned. But you know what gets me every time is, this subliminal racism. She couldn't come out and say, should we continue to put African American women in leadership positions for the city? No, what she says instead is a different kind of leadership. Like, we can't put 2 and 2 together, what she's trying to say. Both of those statements were in the same question. African American females and a different kind of leadership. To me, this was a racist statement. Did she intend it to be racist? I don't know if she intended it to come out as racist, but I certainly think that she was thinking that way. Am I calling her racist? No, because I'm not going to name call. But what she said to me was a racist statement. And you can tell if you looked at the clip, the way her head movements and, the way she was just moving on during asking the question, she is real passionate about this. I can tell that she will never vote for another African American female. Pugh resigned Thursday after questions as to whether she used sale of her self-published children's book to cover up potential kickbacks from the University of Maryland Medical Systems and Kaiser Permanente Health System. All right, so that gets me to say, why is she only singling out African American women? If you're following the story, trust me, African American women aren't the only one involved in this scandal. You have plenty of Caucasians involved. All right. So in politics, corruption is not limited to one group of gender or one group of color. Okay. She specifically targeted African American women, as if to say, no African American women should be given another chance because of these 3 women. And you cannot judge a person based on the behavior of another person. Okay? That's why we have stereotypes out here. That's why racism exists. All right. It's not right. And she rightfully so, in my opinion, was fired. All right. The blow up started on Thursday when 25-year veteran WJZ anchorwoman May Bubala interviewed Loyola University Maryland professor Carsonia K. West Whitehead about Pew and the leadership in Baltimore. So this woman knows better. She's a journalist. She's been a journalist for 25 whole years. She knows the power of her words. She knows how to twist things around when she wants to express an opinion. Because she's a veteran. She's experienced at this. So when she asked that question, she just didn't care because she got so comfortable that she's been at this TV station for so long that she felt that she could say whatever she want and express her frustrations. Because to me, looking at her, she was clearly frustrated. Or was this a lapse in judgment? What do you think? We've had 3 female African American mayors in a row, Bubala said on the air. They were all passionate public servants. See, she's trying to soften the blow right there, trying to trick your mind. 2 resigned, though. Is this a signal that a different kind of leadership is needed to move Baltimore City forward? Man, oh my gosh. It is just so crazy. As if the only corruption in Baltimore City is with African American females. Trust me, that is not true. All right? And in Maryland, period, across the country. Corruptions and bad doings comes in all races and all genders. Why did she specifically point out African American females? Someone who's not experienced at voting and who may look up to her and value her opinion, guess what? They will never vote for another African American female to do anything in leadership. Because she just grouped all African American women with 3 women who may have been a part of some corruption or who may not have the skills to lead like they should have. That's not every African American woman. Each person stands on their own merit. But she failed to realize that when she asked this question. Wise's response to the question was cut from the clip that surfaced. As usual, people just put out what they want you to hear. But she responded in a Facebook Live post on Monday saying, "It is very clear, very, very clear to me that we are still having an issue with sharing the issues around race, and we need to get to the point where race and gender are not determining factors in how we see ourselves or how we judge our leaders, or how we allow people to have access to positions of power." And she's exactly right. Those women weren't put into office because they were African American females. The voters thought that they could do something for the city. And whether or not the voters were right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Each person runs on their own merit. So a problem with corruption is not limited to a specific race and gender. It's just not. Prior to Pew, a former mayor, Sheila Dixon, had also resigned in 2010 after being convicted of misappropriating $500 in gift cards intended for the poor. And that's true, that did happen. She was replaced in the interim by Stephanie Rawlings Blake, who then won a full term in 2011, but fell under criticism when social unrest arose in the wake of the death of Freddie Gray in 2015. She decided against running again in 2016. And that's true. She didn't handle that situation right. But with these 2 women handling these situations, the people were looking at them as just the leaders handling the situation. Not, these 2 black women, they messing up. No, these were 2 people who made mistakes. It doesn't matter the gender. After outrage was expressed on social media over Bubala's question, the Sun wrote about the situation and received an email from the general manager, Audra Swain, indicating Bubala was out at the station. Okay, so WJZ was like, look, you affecting our reputation now. We don't want to be known as a racist statement. You have to go. Now, it took social media, for it to start trending on social media for it to happen, which brings the question, would this happen? Would she have been fired if it hadn't trended? That's the power of social media, okay? Social media has good, bad, and ugly. And you want to hear about the ugly? Look at my previous video. Meanwhile, members of a local organization of black journalists, which called Bubala's question racist and sexist, are pointing out that the action only took place after a backlash on social media, and also asserting that the action does not solve the city's root problem, with diversity within its news organizations. So they're pointing out, okay, the social media aspect. Of course, nobody would have paid attention to what she said had not social media exposed it. But she's also talking about, what kind of anchors are you hiring at your news stations? Do they all feel this way? What's going on in these news stations across the country where you have people that have ideas that may be racially not acceptable, bigoted, who knows? But these are the people that are reporting the news. And if you are a news reporter for a television station, guess what? You represent the station. There is no disclaimer that the views of this reporter does not mean that's how we feel. No, the reviews of the reporter or what the reporter says does reflect the station. Okay? You can't give a disclaimer for that. And that's why they fired her. Nikki Mayo, immediate past president of the Baltimore Association of Black Journalists, published a clip of the interview on Twitter and received a backlash from viewers who said Bubala is good people, but she believes Bubala leaving the station does little to address the bigger problem. And that's, that may be so. She may be a good person. Like I said, I don't know her. She may not be racist, but something in her mind says she don't think African American females should be leading this country. And does her being fired address the bigger problem? No, it doesn't. But you know what it does do? It holds her accountable for what she said. Race issues have been a problem in America since its beginning. All right? So, there you go. She was held accountable for what she said, and that's the important thing in this situation. Her organization is trying to fight for newsroom diversity and inclusion, she said. A more productive response would have been to compel Bubala to apologize right away and then move forward to figure out how to fix the larger issues, Mayo told the Griot exclusively. And she probably would have apologized to save her job. But would it have been heartfelt? No, it doesn't hide the fact that that's how she felt. She can apologize for hurting people or offending people. But at the end of the day, this is how she feels. And she put it out on camera in the form of a question that she didn't think people were going to pick up on. It doesn't make any sense that she was on TV the next day, Mayo said. You had black employees inside of that station who are voicing concern immediately. Why did it take days? It took days because social media hadn't grabbed onto it yet. As for Bubala, the anchorwoman emailed an apology to the Sun. Last week, I made a mistake in the language I used on air, she said. I received immediate support from WJZ because they knew it was not in my heart to intentionally cause this kind of harm. I wanted to do an on-air apology, but was not allowed. Oh, you could have created your own on-air apology, please. I hope that the people of Baltimore know that I would never do anything to hurt anyone. And she may be sincere, or this may be a bunch of bull crap. I don't know. So, like I said, I don't know the woman. I don't know where her heart was when she said it, but I'm looking at her face and I'm looking at her expression and I'm looking how she asked that question. And to me, she was she was implying something. Okay. She added, "Unfortunately, I now stand in the path of the tornado. WJZ was forced to let me go." And what did she mean that? She was forced because of the social media attention? I tell you. So anyway, that looks like that's the end of the article. The bottom line is, you need to be careful what you say, especially in this day and time, where just saying anything is not acceptable. It seems like over the past 4 or 5 years, it's like people can say whatever they want out of their mouths and people are okay with it. No, you still have people that are affected by your words. All right. And I don't care what your position in life is. At some point, we are all leaders in something, even though it may be something real small or it may be something really big. And you have to be careful of your words because your words do affect people. So anyway, that's just my opinion on this situation. If you agree or disagree, that's what you're entitled to. If you want to talk about it, just leave a comment just leave a comment below. All right? And I'll see you in another one. Bye.